Good morning, friends and family. I just realized my cupboard is open and you can see everything. Alright, so today's topic, let me just get that right. Today's topic is parenting through parenting, or at least healing through parenting. Alright, so what do we do, or what do we mean when we say you heal through parenting? So, where do we start? Alright, so as we grow up and when we're children, we actually face quite a lot of challenges. We face a lot of things, and our parents have a very specific style of parenting. They parented us in a certain way, they viewed us in a certain way, and they raised us to believe that children have a very specific space where that they're allowed to occupy within society. And we are taught from a very young age that that is the space a child is allowed to occupy. So now that we are older and we have our own kids, we work with that framework. We were taught our beliefs of the space a child's allowed to occupy in society. And every time that our children push back at boundaries, every time that our children do things that we disagree with, we have almost like this power struggle in our hearts where we want to take over the authority. We want to show we're in control. We often see in parenting groups where the mom or dad would reply, listen here, you need to show your child who's the parent. You're the parent. You're supposed to show them who's boss. The moment a child pushes back, they are questioning your authority. And where that comes from is actually their own hurt and their own childhood, where they were taught, and we were taught and raised, that a child needs to know their place. A child needs to know who's got the authority. And I think that's one of the things that we as parents are so often so scared of, losing our position of authority, that we believe it is something that we can lose. We believe that our position of power is something that we can lose to our kids, and we can't. The mere fact that we are the parents, that we are the people who's raising these kids, that we are the most important human beings to our children, and we're bigger than them, and we know more than them, and we're these iconic heroes to our kids, already places us in a position of authority that we don't need to fight for, that we don't need to do. We don't have to control our kids. Our kids want to please us, they want to keep us happy, but why do we feel this need to control? Because we get put back in how we felt as children and how powerless we felt whenever our parents asserted their authority and tried to force us. They tried to control the situation, they tried to control us, and that powerlessness that we felt as kids resurfaces from a psychological and subconscious level. And we have that immediate knee-jerk, you will listen to me reaction. And that is childhood trauma. And we need to acknowledge it, and we need to engage with it and be very honest with ourselves. If I want to raise a child that is a whole human being, I need to acknowledge that my triggers, the things that upsets me in my child's actions, and I'm not talking when they're like blatantly hurting someone or blatantly breaking stuff on purpose. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pushback. I'm talking about them learning and understanding, and our need for, you will listen to me, our need to push them into a specific direction. All of those things comes from our own trauma and our own hurt. And if we are not willing to recognize those triggers, if we're not willing to engage with those triggers, we are missing important moments of engaging with our kids. We're missing important moments of educating our kids And we are actually continuing the cycle of the drama, of the fear. If we parent from a position of fear, and that is exactly what it is, the moment we want to assert our authority over our kids, we are scared that we have lost control over our kids. We are scared for the future of our kids. We are scared of what other people's going to think of us. We are scared the whole time. And then we start panic parenting. And panic parenting gets nobody anywhere. And that panic parenting comes from our own fears of, I'm losing control and I'm going to be that little child again that gets shunted around and get pushed around. And our kids have a way of triggering that fear, because that's the first time in your life you actually get confronted with that, with the reality that someone might give you pushback. So how do we heal with this, from this? So the first thing is to acknowledge that, first of all, our kids are human beings. We cannot control them. They have a mind of their own. The second thing is to accept it and really truly believe that, yes, you are the parent, and therefore you already have given power just by the mere relationship dynamics between parent and child. So you don't have to fight for it. You don't have to fight for control. You don't have to fight for that. And the moment you actually make that peace and make that connection that I don't have to assert control, it is much easier then to step into the moment and allow your own fears and hurts to be soothed by giving acknowledgement to the whole human child. And also to sit with yourself and ask yourself, but why was I so upset? When my child cried about the sippy cup, when my child pushed back at the rules regarding screen time, when my child questioned why they should put on shoes, all those challenges that our kids are pushing at us, why did it upset us? Why did it make me feel powerless? Why did it make me feel like I need to show them who's boss? And we need as parents to go sit down and ask, why do we feel that need? The moment we understand why I'm feeling the need to assert control, that's a first step for you to heal. That's the first step to be able to speak to your inner child and to the little one, that subconscious, that little human being that was taught that a child's space is to be seen and not to be heard. A child's space is to jump when an adult says jump. To address that and ask, is it really the truth? Do I want blind obedience from a child or from a human being? And how will that impact their social situations as an adult? How do I feel when a person in a position of authority tells me to jump and I know intrinsically what they're asking me to do is wrong? Why am I struggling to push back and say no? Do I want my child to sit in that position when they are older, not being able to say, no, I'm not going to do that. That's unethical, or that's wrong, or that's not the way it should be. But we teach them how power dynamics work and authority dynamics work, but we can't teach them a healthy balance with that if we keep on parenting from our own hurt, from our own trauma. So every trigger that you feel from your kids, every pushback that you feel after, don't react. Just breathe deep and take a moment and ask, why am I feeling upset? Why am I feeling so triggered? Is it because I really need them to work with me now? Or is it because I've walked into the expectation of what I've been taught as a child, that when an adult speaks or when a parent speaks, you jump? If that is my point of departure, I have some healing to do. I need to go sit with myself and allow myself to accept that, you know what? Position of authority, I've got it. I don't have to fight for it. I have that as a parent, merely by the fact that I'm already the parent. So why do I need my child to jump right now? Is it because I had an impulse and they need to do certain things? Or is it because I can't stand being pushed back against? Our kids' jobs is to push back. A child's job is to push back so that they can learn and explore and get to know the world. But them pushing back touches our hurts. Think about it in this way. And what I mean about your own childhood trauma stepping in front when we're parenting our kids, and how it is such beautiful indicators of, whoop, I need to heal there. I need to look at this. I need to focus on this, and I need to get this healthy again. When we read stories about bullies, or when we see actions of someone hurting someone else in a way similar to how we've been hurt, what do we feel in our hearts? We feel incensed. We feel angry for the victim's sake. We feel something needs to be fixed. Our emotions, even if it happened when you were in primary school, there's still a visceral reaction, emotional reaction to what you see. The same when our kids push back. Immediately we feel they're trying to usurp our authority. They're trying to take away our power. And it's because our power were taken away when we were kids, when we pushed back against authority, and when we said no, or when we felt like we were treated as second-hand human beings, or like less than. So in this whole process of healing, acknowledge and make peace that yes, you have the authority, you don't have to fight for it. So you can go down on their level, and you can talk to them, and you can say, okay, I hear you don't like this. I hear you don't like the color cup. I don't have the color cup. The color cup that you want isn't clean yet. Maybe we can wash it together. Or you know what, today there's no time to wash it. You're going to have to use this cup. I'm really sorry that you're upset and disappointed. This is the way it's going to be. And it's much easier then to engage with our kids without having this trigger response of, I will tell you and show you who's boss. And I know it might sound like I'm making parents that demands immediate obedience from their kids out as these monsters. No, you're not a monster. You have a certain worldview that puts children in a lesser than space, and it is because that is how you were raised to believe that kids belong. And today I want to allow you to free yourself to accept that my kids are small, my kids are learning, my kids will push back, but you know what, the mere fact that I'm their parent, I'm not their friend, but I'm their parent, I already have certain clout and certain authority that I don't have to forcefully exert over them. I don't have to threaten them. I don't have to do anything of those things. I don't even have to make them feel powerless in the situation. I can actually add power to their situation and help them learn and grow from this. And you know what's the beautiful thing of that? The moment we give that space to our kids, the moment we allow our kids to be human and to, negotiate and backchat and push back and learn and grow through this, you're setting yourself free from the hurt, from the pain and the frustration and the powerlessness that you felt as a child, that you were told a child's position has to be. And this will help you actually even in your adult relationships, when you get into a position where someone is in a position of authority over you, that you will still have the power and the ability to negotiate with them, to challenge them without feeling scared, without holding on to the idea that just because someone is in a position of authority and me challenging them, I'm not questioning their authority. I'm questioning the content of what they're saying, so that I can get a better understanding, or so that I can engage with them in a way to either convince them that they are wrong, or to be able to make a informed decision on whether I would like to continue engaging with this person or not. And that is part of your healing as a parent. And there's a lot of healing that can happen. You can decide to heal through parenting by the choices that you make and how you engage with your kids, and how you actually stop and ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I reacting the way that I'm reacting? Or you can continue the cycle of parents battling and fighting for authority over their kids, which you don't need to do. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I hope I will see them. I'm holding my phone in a slanted way, so I can't really see everything. Please hit that like button. Let me know that you're here. I'm interrupting myself now in the whole thing. But in the long and the short of this whole conversation, every time that you're triggered as a parent, every time that it feels like my child is pushing my buttons, the only time that our buttons actually gets pushed is when it hits a sore spot, when it hits something that is hurting still inside of you. And that is one of the best ways to understand, oh, there's something that needs to heal. I've got hurt in my heart. I've got hurt in my soul. And I need to find a way to heal that. And that is what is so powerful of parenting a child, is because it forces you to parent yourself. It forces you to step into the role of taking care of the hurt that you have. Parents' jobs isn't just to discipline and to educate, but it's to love and to nurture and to take care of their kids. And when we say parent the parent, you need to love and nurture your own hurt and your bruised heart. And in that whole process, you will find that it's easier for you to parent. You will be less triggered. There's less buttons available to be pushed. Your kids will connect easier with you. They will come and talk to you. You know those movies that we see, the movie that my husband and I always joke about is the letter A. It's about this teenage girl that is like this. She's actually used to be an A student, and she's all of that, and then she just helped out a guy by saying that they've had sex, and then this whole rumor mill started in the school, and I can't remember the name right now. But she and her parents have this really open discussion, friendly, laughing, joking, almost like a friendship relationship, but you can see the parents are still parenting her. And we always, before we had kids, said, if we have kids, we want a relationship like that with our child, where they can come to us and say, Mom, Dad, I'm being accused of this. Can you believe it? And we can actually sit and talk things through. Or, Mom, Dad, I've made this decision. What do you think? And we can talk about the serious topics, the lighthearted topics when they're teenagers. And we want that. But if we don't cultivate it from birth, and if we don't cultivate it in them now, we're not going to have that relationship. And part of cultivating that relationship is to look at the buttons that our kids push so that we can heal from our own trauma and our own sadness, so that we do not continue the cycle of silence and the cycle of, I have to keep on fighting to assert my authority. I have to keep on fighting to assert my control. Because if you're going to fight to assert your control and authority and demand that kind of thing, and just accepting that you already have it, there's nothing to be fought, then you're not going to have that relationship with your teenager, and you're not going to have that relationship with your adult child. In actual fact, it is going to be the opposite. Your teenager is going to hide things from you, and they start from a very young age hiding things from us, because we teach them how to relate to someone in a position of authority. You either have an open relationship with someone in a position of authority that you can trust, or you have a closed relationship where you talk to the person that is in authority, but they don't really get to know you. They don't really have a relationship with you. You have a surface relationship, but that hurt and the damage that has happened never gets healed and never gets sorted out. So go out, go look at your triggers, be open to your triggers. Remember, you are an amazing parent. You are doing great. When your child pushes back, you're doing something right. Go just ask yourself, why is it upsetting you that they're pushing back? Go look at that and go work through that. And if you need any additional support, you're welcome to inbox me. You're welcome to reach out to me. I'm here, and I enjoy having these conversations with you guys. Please stay safe. I love you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. And here's to healthy healing. Cheers.